Well, welcome into News Now. I'm Ariel Onstad, and we continue to track the aftermath of the severe weather that rolled through our area this morning. We want to start off with our Eli Jordan, who is live in Griffin, giving us a look at things being repaired there. So, Eli, good morning to you. What are you seeing?
Good morning, Ariel. Yes, I'm just southwest of Griffin. I'm in the Vaughn area. I'm on Vaughn School Road, right at the Heads Creek Water Reservoir. And we got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bucket trucks out here cleaning up a mess that happened this morning. Reports of 4 large trees across the road knocking down power lines in this area. And the Griffin Power Company is out here on it quick, getting to it, cleaning it up. You can see the bucket trucks here all working together here along this line on Vaughn School Road, and the road is blocked off and you cannot pass through here. And we're actually really close to Fayetteville Highway, I believe it is, Fayetteville Road, Highway 92, that is, about a mile away from that. And again, at the Heads Creek Water Reservoir. And these guys have been out here for quite some time, laying out a plan, figuring out what to do, get the trees cleared off the lines and off the road, and then get these lines back up and power back on in this area. There are lines on the ground, and as always, stay away from power lines. If you see any on the ground, stay far away, because they can conduct across the ground for quite some ways. But the power's out here, they got it under control, and they're gonna get these lines back up, get the trees off of them and off the road, and get power back to everyone in this area on Vaughn School Road. Ariel?
Eli, yeah, I'm taking a look at everything that they're doing, and if you travel through this area here in Griffin, I definitely don't think you can pass through, because like you said, there are lines on the ground and trees all across the road. It looked like on the right side there. This is off of Highway 92, like you said. Eli, as you were driving in through this area, did you see any other damage?
Yeah, coming down through here, I did see, driving down the road, you would see evidence of, high winds. There's a lot of, pine needles on the road, pine cones, and a few branches, but nothing that was blocking the roads until I got closer to here at the Vaughn School Road. And it's entirely blocked as these crews are trying to get the power back on and get, lines run again. But on the way down here, you saw little spots of, on the road where you could tell that high winds were blowing through here because it was covered with leaves and pine needles and some branches. But then there were just brief little pockets. And then when you got closer to the southwest of Henry County and into Paulding County, and on the other side of Griffin, you started seeing like more of the debris on the road. And as I said, I'm right next to the Heads Creek Water Reservoir, and that's, a big flat area. I'm, not a meteorologist, I'm not an expert in weather, but it seems like it could have, spawned up over this flat area of water, and then kind of pushed on through and knocked trees down over the power lines that are along the coast of the Heads Creek Water Reservoir here.
Yeah, Eli, we're definitely going to be checking that out and talking with meteorologist Alex Forbes about that. Coming up, I do want to talk to you in the next little bit about where you live, because I know you live in Henry County, not far from where a radar-confirmed tornado was. So we're going to talk with you about that in the next little bit. For now, I'm going to let you continue getting video and information there on the scene. I'm going to bring it back over here to the studio where we have our meteorologist Alex Forbes on set. So Eli, thank you so much. Alex, thank you for all your hard work and keeping us updated. Tell me a little bit about what you're looking at right now as far as what we are seeing.
Yeah, so we're all clear in terms of a severe threat here in North Georgia. So that's a piece of good news in all of this. I want to take it back to what happened.
Yes.
And I'll walk you through it from my point of view,
okay.
the way it played out this morning. So we were in Good Day Atlanta, 7:20 in the morning. This was the radar picture that I was looking at, and it's funny. I just went back and watched, and quite literally like 2 minutes before this happened, I pointed this out and said, "Look, it's blowing out," and had to continue on with my forecast, right? And what was going on was that area bowing out, you had winds blowing like this towards the radar and winds blowing like that away from the radar. And that's what ended up spinning up and starting this tornado. And we're using the term accurately, a radar-confirmed tornado, because what I'm going to do is advance this forward by just a minute. So that's where we saw the rotation pop up, right? And then boom. So what you see here, that it jumping, in fact, I'll just draw it broadly and play it forward like this. When we were talking about the debris signature on TV, we were tracking that.
Yeah.
So we saw the rotation pop up, and then we saw this debris signature. That's when we broke in on Good Day Atlanta, and Paul and I went for a little while. But so let me back this up and mark where that first debris signature popped up. It's actually going to be more like right there, just so that we can measure this. All right. So it went from there, and it goes, and it goes, and it goes. So that's when it got to Hampton. And then we got it into Locust Grove, and it's still going, and it kind of died off right there.
So this is interesting. You're able to track this from the radar, and from the debris field that you are looking at, you are able to confirm the existence of a tornado.
Right. So the way this debris detector works is it's part of the radar functionality. And what it does is it scans around, and it's looking at what it's scanning, and it's not able to say, okay, this is a computer mouse and this is a sticky note.
Right.
What it says is these two are the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
These two are different.
Yes.
And when you get rain and debris
Yeah.
in the air, that's what we're looking at. Those blues there are different things.
So within this, now that you have confirmed this through the radar, right? I assume the National Weather Service will come out and take a look at this next.
Yes. So what's going to happen is whenever we talk about confirmed tornadoes, like we put a period on it, event is over, the National Weather Service has to go out and look at damage. So tornadoes are rated based on the damage, and the wind estimates that come from that are based on the damage. So they'll go out and look at things like, okay, well, this pine tree was snapped at this elevation up, and in order to do that, you put your engineering hat on, you need X amount of winds. When you get into the extreme scenarios, say they're trying to look for an EF5, for an example, they are quite literally going around and looking at the foundations of homes and how they were attached.
Wow.
That's the level of detail that this is measured in.
So as we look at this now, we know that our crews, right? We have Eli there in Spalding County and Griffin, and we're going to be getting to our Kim Leffler in just a little bit, also there in Spalding. How does this relate with the damage in Spalding County? Do you think that this is related, or is this part of heavy winds and rain?
Yeah, no. So this was the tornado coming through. So here, let's take it back down into Spalding. So most everybody we're talking to is in northern Spalding right now. So this was your confirmed tornado warning that we had. And so I believe, in fact, let me put this right in here. So this is, in fact, I got somebody messaged me from West McIntosh Road. I've also got a message from West Ellis Road, and Highway 92 and Vineyard, I think, is where we have somebody. So Highway 92 and Vineyard is right here. All right. Here's your tornado coming through right here.
Wow.
So that's Vaughn Road, which we also have damage from. All right. And then let me see if I can advance this just one scan. There you go. There's Highway 92 and Vineyard.
Yeah.
There's your debris signature right at Steel Road. So yes, that's the type of information that we are able to look at and answer your question. Do you think, X damage is from a tornado? Well, I'm looking at the debris signature, and then I flip over here and I look at the velocity signature, which again, you have your reds blowing away from the radar like this, and your green's blowing towards the radar right that. So I have rotation, I have a debris signature, and I have damage at that spot.
Good to know. Alex, this has been incredible. Thank you so much for breaking it down for us in these terms and allowing us to see this. We're definitely going to stay up to date with you for the latest. When we come back to you here a little bit farther along in the stream, I definitely want to get the sense of what's to come in the week ahead. I kind of feel like we're every Sunday, Monday now abouts here in Georgia. We're starting to face some of the severe weather as we're into the season, so it's definitely par for the course.
Absolutely.
So thank you for all of your hard work. We're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we return, we're going to have more live weather coverage. And of course, we'll be checking back in with Alex in just a little bit. Welcome back to News Now. I'm Ariel Onstad, and we continue to track the aftermath of severe storms that rolled through our area this morning. We want to get out to Spalding County, where we have our Kim Leffler standing by. Kim, you're tracking some damage. What are you seeing? What are you finding there?
Well, we're right along New Salem Road. We're actually not far from where Eli was when he was with you a little bit earlier in the hour. And as you can see behind me, we have a few trees here that have fallen onto a home. Now, the woman who lives inside, she didn't want to go on camera, but we did speak with her moments ago, and she told me that she got an alert on her phone. She took cover in the bathroom, which actually is not far from where these trees fell. Then she heard what she thought was lightning. Didn't even realize the trees had fallen until the worst of the storm really had passed. Now, I did get a look inside the home. The good news here is the trees are really just kind of resting on top of this home. They have not actually fallen through the roof here, which is some good news. So she is still able to salvage some of her items inside and stay inside of the home here. But certainly some scary moments this morning. She said this all happened right around 7:30 or so this morning. But this is certainly some of the worst damage that we have seen since we have been down here in this area. Certainly from what we've been hearing, tree damage has been the worst damage from this system. We did, our Mark Teichner also just spoke with a woman who had some trees fall onto their property, damaging some items that her dad built after he recently passed away. But a lot of the roadways in and around this area where we are still open and are still passable. New Salem here is still open as well. But the good news is the woman who lives in this home is okay, and no damage to the roof. The tree is just kind of resting on the home here. Ariel?
Kim, yeah, wonderful news. I'm so glad she's okay. Like you said, it's interesting to watch how this tree fell because it didn't cut the home in half, or it didn't, it's almost like it's just resting there. Kind of interesting to see the damage tornadoes can cause.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, when I took a look, and she allowed me to take a look inside of her home here, you could just see some cracks on the ceiling there, but no trees were going through the roof at all. And, that's really why we tell everyone to be prepared, because I have been on several tornadoes throughout my career, one recently down in Henry County. And, you can have these trees, if they have enough force, they can cause significant damage to homes, or in some cases just rest, as you're seeing the trees here behind me. So that is why we definitely tell people to take these warnings seriously and take the proper precautions, because you just don't know exactly what these storms will do.
Amen, Kim. And it's so interesting too, because sometimes rain comes through, weakens the roots of a tree, and all it needs is just a strong wind, and then down it goes. So, Kim, you were saying, one final question for you. You were saying as you were coming in, you were looking at other damage. You didn't see any other road closures. I just wanted to revisit that. Did you see anything else people should be concerned about?
Not during our drive when we got down here. We got down to the Griffin area just really within the last 40 minutes or so. But we certainly are hearing, as we heard from Eli's report a little bit earlier, there are some road closures. But New Salem, where we are right now, is still open. Again, the worst of the damage in this area is this tree onto this home here. But again, the roadways that we came through to get to this spot were open. No major issues on our drive down here this morning.
Wonderful. Kim, thank you so much for this live look, keeping us updated. We'll be checking in with you again one final time later on in the stream. Stay safe. Thank you so much. Well, we're going to go ahead and prepare for a short break. We do know that as so many people are preparing for spring break travel this week, it is a nightmare at the Atlanta airport as people are preparing to leave. Last night, these storms caused issues, and now a lot of travelers have come back. So we're going to take a break, and after the break, we're going to check in at the Atlanta airport with our Tyler Finger to give you a live look at what to expect, how the security lines are faring in case you have travel plans later on in the day. You know what to expect. So we'll see you back here in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thank you so much for streaming News Now as we continue to track the aftermath of the severe weather that rolled through our area this morning. We have a radar-confirmed tornado, and those severe storms wreaked havoc on travel plans, as you might imagine. We want to bring in our very own Tyler Fingert, who has been tracking the latest from Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Tyler, what are you seeing and hearing? It looks kind of like a mess behind you.
Yeah, Ariel, good morning to you. Things are finally better, but it was a perfect storm today. We had TSA wait times over an hour, at least 80 minutes for the main checkpoint. Right now, it's just about 20 to 30 minutes, according to the airport's wait time estimator. And as I said, this is truly a perfect storm of what happened today. So basically, yesterday, they had a lot of people traveling. We obviously had the severe storms move through. That prompted a ground stop here at Hartsfield-Jackson for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, which resulted in flight delays and cancellations. And you had, in a situation where people had their flights canceled, have to come back today. Then you have people traveling already here on this busy Monday. This is the first weekday of spring break here in Atlanta, so you have people traveling for that. Then those cancellations are just compounded from yesterday with that, so everyone showed up at the airport at the same time. You're taking a look at the main security checkpoint. I just spoke to a TSA official just within the last about 30 or so minutes. They tell me today could be the single busiest day ever for the TSA here at Hartsfield-Jackson, and that comes after Friday broke a record with more than 111,624 people going through the TSA checkpoint. Again, they could say they could break that again today here, expected to be a very, very busy day. And so they are telling people to get here as early as possible, at least 2 to 3 hours early, because if you have to park a car, take your rental car back, things could be very busy. As we were coming here to park just about 2 hours ago, the line to get through the north terminal to get to our parking area was extremely busy. It was kind of a wait. There was a slowdown as people were trying to get dropped off. So extremely busy. This is the check-in area you're looking at for Delta right now. Long lines there. They have all 3 of their stanchions open. From what Delta is saying, they have their employees out here in force trying to make sure they can help their passengers. I spoke to one woman about 20 minutes ago. She told me that she had a flight last night at about 11 o'clock that was canceled because of those severe storms. She tried to come back today for an 11:30 a.m. flight. That flight ended up happening, just took off a short time ago, or is about to take off. And she told me that she ended up missing her flight because the TSA wait time was just so long. 80 minutes, she said, when she got here initially. We had Fox 5's Brooke Zahner here earlier today. She was saying that the wait times were just extremely busy. I mean, obviously, on busy holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, the day before, some of those big holidays, the airport can look like a mess. Today was really one of those situations where you just had so many people getting here at the same time, overwhelming the TSA checkpoints. Now they've been able to make things a little bit better. Let me just check right now on the TSA or on the airport website. Currently for the main checkpoint, 23 minutes, the north checkpoint, 27 minutes, the lower north, 21, and even if you have pre-check, you're also waiting about 30 minutes right now. Ariel, things are better, but unfortunately it's going to be a situation where people are going to still have to wait in line over the course of the next several hours as these people just continue to try to make their flights.
Yeah, Tyler, it's something that, interesting, right? Because with spring break, I think a lot of people assume everyone leaves on a Friday or over the weekend. But if severe weather rolls in like it did, you could not even be starting your spring break until Monday or Tuesday, as we're seeing some of the folks behind you doing.
Well, and for instance, I was flying back from a wedding yesterday. My flight was delayed about 2 hours, or about an hour and a half, 2 hours coming back into Hartsfield. The bride herself was trying to make a flight out of here in Atlanta for her honeymoon. Her flight got canceled because her flight got struck by lightning. Luckily, she was able to get out to her flight to Europe. So lots of different delays and cancellations were yesterday, and that just obviously wreaking havoc today from the standpoint that all of those people who couldn't get on their planes yesterday are then coming here today, along with everyone who's also just traveling on a regular Monday. You have the business travelers, you have the people going out for spring break. Again, the first weekday of spring break for pretty much all Atlanta schools. So this is just, again, perfect storm. And we saw rain earlier today, a radar-confirmed tornado down in the southern part of our viewing area. Obviously, a perfect storm is, I think, the great way to describe what's happening here today at Hartsfield and across our viewing area.
Amen, Tyler. Thank you so much for keeping us updated and giving us that live look. We're going to check in with you again a little bit later in the stream for the latest, but to see how situation is progressing there at Hartsfield-Jackson. But thank you for your efforts We're going to bring it back here to the studio where we're going to continue to keep you updated on what to expect. One of the things we do want to do is check in with meteorologist Alex Forbes in the next little bit. But for now, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we will see you back here in just a Well, welcome back. I'm Ariel Onstad here with meteorologist Alex Forbes. Alex, we are tracking the aftermath of the severe storm this morning.
Yep.
Radar confirmed tornado. Now we're in the cleanup phase and looking ahead.
Yeah, the spots that saw the damage are in the cleanup phase. We're still hanging on to storms in a couple of spots. So I want to take you over to Fox 5 Live Viper and take you down into Putnam and Greene counties, where we've got it's not nothing rolling over Lake Oconee and the northern reaches of Lake Sinclair. I see a couple lightning strikes there, 17 in the last couple of minutes. So some heavy rain between Eatonton and the lake. That's going to clip Greensboro, really the southern extent of Greene County here in a little bit, and then it's going to move into Hancock County. When it does that, it moves into the Macon television market. So, that's when we kind of let our guard down a little bit in terms of impacts for our Fox 5 viewers, because you move into a different realm. Now, what else is going on? Well, we have some severe weather still in Georgia. In fact, let me take you down here. This is going to be down south of Albany. This is a confirmed tornado right now. That's going to be down near the state line. And then also Tallahassee, you've got a severe thunderstorm warning moving in there with a tornado there on the south side.
And Alex, I do want to point out, right, because we're streaming, so many of our viewers could be watching from wherever, right? They could be watching from these areas we were speaking about right now. So if they are, what should they be concerned about? Yeah,
I mean, so this is going to be a very localized thing. So we would be, putting your tornado safe place in action.
Yeah.
If you get that alert on your phone, you're headed to the lowest level, most interior room, away from doors and windows, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Down in this region of Georgia and in this region of Florida, there are not many basements, so that's typically a first level of a sturdy structure, and like a closet, a bathroom, something
interior.
Exactly. The key is this: you don't want windows, because if you have windows, you're on an exterior wall. And you want to be in the most interior part of the house as possible, because say something happens around you and there's some sort of failure in your structure, that failure is first going to happen on the outside. It's not going to happen on the inside first. So it's putting as many lines of defenses between you and the tornado as possible. So that's what you're doing right now in southern Georgia. But again, back here in the metro area, That's not going to be a thing for us anymore, at least for the rest of the day. We are going to hang on to some scattered showers, right? But we are not going to see any more storms. And then even by the evening hours tonight, we will just be cloudy. And notice this as well, our temperatures fall through the day.
They are.
We go from the 60s down into the mid 50s, and it's not going to be a weird swing like we can see sometimes where we're super warm and then we get a cold front and boom, you lose 30 degrees. Instead, it's a gradual 60 to mid 50 slide. You know, it's you walk outside at noon and you walk outside at 6 p.m. You go, it's a little different, but it's not all that different across the area.
So as we're looking at this, what does this mean for the week ahead? It's like you read my mind, pulling up the 7 day.
Yes. So look, we're not going to see the 80s like we saw through the weekend. That is,
I'm not mad about that.
Right. It was too early. I love the 80s, but not for the first week of April. So instead, we're going to have highs in the 60s and 70s, probably there on Thursday. Notice we have a 10 and 20% chance of rain on Thursday and Friday. That is because we are going to see a weak system roll through overnight Thursday into Friday. So I think we could get some rain out of that. You're asking about the week ahead here in Atlanta. That's your answer. I would also say that this would be the answer for Augusta, which of course has the Masters this week. So that is a big to-do for the state, and we are looking at mostly nice weather after today. I did see that they were able to open the gates this morning, so that's a piece of good news out of this. I would say the only thing is if you have a ticket for Friday, you might run into some morning showers down there, but I don't think it's anything they're going to go canceling anything over.
Good to know. And Alex, just while I have you, because we do have a little bit of time, I would love to, now that we have looked at this, would it be possible to go back this morning when you were looking at that tornado damage and looking at the path? Can you show me the path that this took one more time?
Yes. So, got to do a couple things to get to it.
Go for it.
So, in fact, I'll walk you through it. So what I'm doing is I'm flipping the radar to the past 6 hours, right, so that we can go this far back. And I'm going to go find the start of the warning, which was right there, right?
And for people who are unaware, how do you get a tornado warning as a meteorologist? Are you watching for these to come in? Do they catch you off guard sometimes? How does it happen?
Well, look, a lot of the times we have the National Weather Service chat, and we will get about a minute worth of heads up. It's not a, hey, we're planning on doing this. It's a decision has been made. We are in the process of drawing it up, and it's going to come out like that. Now, a little behind the scenes of this morning, you might find a little entertaining. So I had just wrapped up a weather hit. In fact, I had pointed out the bowing of the line in southern Coweta and Meriwether counties, and I had just sent it over to Paul. He was reading the code word of the day. And as Paul's reading the code word of the day, mind you, all of this is happening in the span of maybe 20 seconds. It was not that long of a period of time. I grabbed my coffee cup and I was going to fill it up. And when I walk out of the studio to where our coffee machine is, there's a TV right there. And I saw our crawl system pop up. And I was like,
That's strange.
I'm not getting that cup of coffee. I'm turning around and walking back in there. And saw the tornado warning. I told our production staff, who was great, I was like, all right, no commercial. We are coming back and we're doing this. And we were on the air. It was that quick. So in the instance this time that I found out about it, I was quite literally watching Fox 5 and saw the crawl pop up. I'm not wearing it right now, but I have an Apple Watch that it will tap my wrist whenever something like that happens. And it's super fast because I will get the tap before the box is even on the screen.
Wow.
So,
that's amazing. Yeah.
That's how that happens. But let's
see this
talk
path.
about it. It's 30 miles that we have worth of a signature, all right? So we're going to start it right here. This was right as this area of rotation was right near State Route 85 and Swikert Road. So I'm going to put a little mark right here. And then what we saw happen right after that is where that was, we got the debris signature. All right, see up here?
Yes, I do.
So it started a path like that. All right. So we're going to keep that in mind now as we go track this debris signature. So it's there. Play it forward, It keeps going, keeps going. So I'm still tracking the same debris signature, which is now right here. Also notice how it's in a line.
Yes.
Right? That's another telltale sign. It's not bouncing all over the place. It's a solid line. And then it goes until right about there. That's when it gets weak enough that it probably lifted just before this spot, but for all intents and purposes, it also probably touched down just before that spot.
What can weaken a tornado and cause it to end?
A lot of things. So truthfully, meteorologists have not figured out tornadoes to an exact science. We think we know how they work. Seriously,
Yeah.
like it's not an exact process, but tornadoes are so particular about
Yeah.
what they need. So to answer your question, what can weaken a tornado? Well, theoretically, anything could kill it. If it ingests air that say is 5 degrees cooler, that can kill it. If it runs into, so you have a tornado moving this way, and then just in the storm, you have a gust blowing this way, and it knocks the tornado like that, then it's done. There's so many things that can knock a tornado off balance. And the biggest thing is that its inflow gets cut off, right? So the part of the storm that gets sucked up into the
energy.
tornado, when there's nothing to suck up, you can't have the tornado.
That makes sense.
So that's the most common answer, but there are a lot of things that can do it. But to answer your question, we think about 33.5 miles.
When will we have potential confirmation from the National Weather Service?
So they've got a long to-do list right now.
Yes.
We had some tornadoes last night in the Columbus and Macon areas.
Okay.
They take priority because they happened earlier.
Yes.
And they need to go confirm, what we saw in Columbus last night. Also south of Macon, we think we had a tornado cross Interstate 16 in Twiggs County. So they already had plans to go down there today. So I don't think we are going to see an immediate confirmation like early this afternoon about Spalding County. But I think we could see something late tonight or probably at some point tomorrow afternoon.
Good to know.
Just saying, yes, it was a tornado. Here's how long it was on the ground. Here's the counties that were impacted, the roads, and so forth.
What to expect. Alex, thank you so much for breaking all of this down for us. I always appreciate the weather chat and the in-depth knowledge. And thanks for giving us the backstory to this morning as you kept us all updated. That was definitely appreciated.
I finally got the cup of coffee about an hour and 45 minutes later. Somebody had moved it off of the coffee pot. So
how dare they? How dare they?
I was like,
Alex, thank you. We are going to transition to get a live look at storm damage, likely from this tornado that Alex was just showing us. So we're going to be taking a live look at that with our Eli Jordan in just a little bit. We want to get a look, if you can see, I think we are taking a live look at the Vaughn Road there, Vaughn School Road off of Highway 92. So we're going to bring in Eli in just a little bit. Let's see, we're looking at the damage out there. Eli, can you hear me? What are you seeing out there?
Hey, Ariel, yeah, I can hear you. I'm on Vaughn School Road right next to the Heads Creek water reservoir. And these linemen from the Griffin Power Company are moving right along. They are getting the cables back up, the power lines back up. The big heavy cables that, carry the power to our homes, they're, having to pull that up, ratchet it, get them tied back. They're having to put new cables in because several trees along the road here have knocked power out. They said it happened around 7:30 this morning, and thankfully, we're in spring break because at 7:30 in the morning we would have had a lot of people, kids on the road going to school, but luckily, that was not the case due to spring break happening. So we kind of dodged a bullet there with potential a lot more scary situations for a lot of people. But with it spring break going on, we did not have as many people on the road. But right now it looks like Vaughn School Road is some of the worst that I have seen on the way down here. I'm sure there's other parts. We've had reports of other roads being closed, but we've had about 4 trees knocked down on this road. And Griffin Power Company's been out here working for the past couple hours straight, getting their plan, and then they're having to do these one by one. One guy gets the cable up, he tightens it, ratchets it, and then the next guy makes sure everything's tight. I guess I don't know the process. I'm not a journeyman or a lineman, but they've been out here just working away. They know what they're doing. It's a process, and as I said, Vaughn School Road out here. Next to the Heads Creek water reservoir right here, and we have about 4 trees down. The road is closed and power's out to all the houses in this area. We're just northwest of Griffin, Georgia, about a mile away from Highway 92 in the Vaughn area. Ariel, how's it going back there?
Yeah, Eli, I'm checking out your shot. Those you can see the journeymen or linemen working on those power lines. One of the things I wanted to ask you about, actually, because we teed it up when I saw you earlier here in the stream, I know you live in Henry County, and you weren't far from where the radar-confirmed tornado happened. Alex was just showing us that kind of path of damage. I'm curious, did you hear or see anything this morning?
Actually, you know, I was just out of the shower and noticed the heavy rain, and I just moved into this house, and I was like, well, here's an opportunity to see if I have any leaks in the roof, and I was poking around checking the ceiling because, you know, it was quite a heavy rain, and then I got a text from you. I didn't have the TV on or anything, and I was just enjoying the heavy rain and checking out, making sure I had a good roof over my head, and I got a text from you, Ariel, saying, I hope you're safe, there's a tornado in your area. And that's when I kind of, like, you know, popped up and started getting busy to head out the door, and I called you up, said, all right, what's going on, and turned on, you know, Fox Local streaming, and, you know, saw the weather reports and decided where I needed to go, and so we headed out this way. But no,
hey,
I did not hear any sirens in Henry County. Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's like you're my weather tornado siren, Ariel.
So
But yeah, I did not hear anything, but I don't know if that was because sirens did not go off, or if it's because I can't hear very well outside of my house when all the doors are shut. So I guess I need to get myself a weather radio with an alert on it.
Sounds about right. Maybe have that Fox Local, Fox 5 weather app, you know, on lock. But I'm glad that your house was great. I'm glad that you didn't suffer any damage. And I'm glad you're safe and able to give us a live look at crews repairing damage there in Griffin. So again, Eli, one more time, you are on Vaughn School Road off of Highway 92 there in Spalding County in Griffin. And this road is closed, but Eli, it does look like they're making progress.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they're just you know, hitting one pole at a time, one by one.
Awesome. Well, Eli,
and they're getting them taken care of.
thank you so much. We want to go ahead and move on and get a look at some other damage there in Spalding County. Thank you so much for giving us a look, Eli. We're going to come back to you in just a little bit. So it does look like we have our Kim Leffler standing by, ready to go. So we want to check in with her about the damage she has seen in Spalding County. Kim, where are you? What are you seeing with where you're at?
Well, we are right off of New Salem Road, and this is some of the worst damage that we've seen in this area. If you take a look behind me, you can see about 2 trees here have fallen onto a home right off here off of New Salem Road. And we did speak with the woman who lives here. She did not want to go on camera, but she told us she got an alert on her phone, and then she took cover. She heard what she initially thought was lightning, and it actually turned out to be the trees falling here. Now, she did allow me to go inside and take a look inside. There are just some cracks in the roof there, but luckily the trees did not actually fall through the roof. They're just kind of resting onto the home right now. So the woman who lives here was just kind of getting some of her valuables out of this main room where the trees are sitting on right now, just to be safe. But she is okay, and most of the home here is okay as well. But as we were making our way down to Spalding County, we didn't see too many road closures. We do know we're actually not far from where Eli was, maybe just around the corner from the road that he's on as well, where there are some trees down. But some of the main roads to get to this area were clear when we drove down here. So certainly some good news there. But the trees that are down, from what I've been seeing online and here on New Salem Road as well, that's certainly been the biggest issue with this storm. Ariel.
Kim, thank you so much. Really quickly, hold on for just a moment. I do want to read an update I just got from our managing editor. An evacuation is underway due to bad weather at the Masters Golf Tournament in Augusta National Golf Club. So that dangerous weather that Alex was just showing us, severe weather that was moving east, has continued, and as a result, the horn blew at 11:25 a.m. and all patrons at the Masters are being told to evacuate the course. So I want to get that update in and make sure everyone is aware. Kim, coming back to you now. So I see the tree is on that house, and you said when you walked inside, you saw some cracks, you did see some damage. While the home is not crushed, it's safe to say that the homeowners are probably going to be repairing what this tree has left behind.
Absolutely, but certainly could have been so much worse. And that is why we encourage everyone to take these storms seriously. I have covered several tornadoes over the course of my career, and just with the way that the winds, are in these systems, you can get some trees like this that'll just rest onto homes. And if the wind comes the right way, these trees very well could have fallen completely through this house. So this homeowner certainly feels lucky that it wasn't any worse here, but we've seen a lot of instances, even in recent storms in the last few weeks, where homes have been crushed by these trees. So that is why we stress the importance of having a way to get alerts and staying weather aware when we have these systems come through.
Kim, thank you so much for that update and for giving us a look. Absolutely, my best goes out to that homeowner. I'm so glad that they're okay. Thank you for giving us this weather coverage. We're going to continue to keep you guys updated here at Fox, right here at the Fox 5 studios. So one of the things I do want to get back in, I know that we had just spoke about it a little bit ago, but for those of you just tuning into the stream, if you're reading it, if you're not listening to me, you can read it at the bottom. An evacuation is underway at the Masters Golf Tournament in Augusta National Golf Club because of that dangerous weather moving into the park. As you can see here on radar, our Alex Forbes was just showing us this storm is moving east. And as it continues to do so, it is prompting an evacuation at the Masters Golf Tournament. Now, the horn did blow at 11:25 this morning. As a result, all the patrons are being told to evacuate the course. So we'll continue to keep you updated here with the latest right here on the Fox Local mobile app. Whether you're watching on your TV or your cell phone, stay tuned. It's about time for us to take a quick break. When we return, we'll have more live weather updates and we'll let you know what to expect. So thank you guys so much for streaming with us. We'll see you back here in just about 2 minutes. Well, welcome back. We continue to track the aftermath of severe weather here in our area, but also severe weather as it continues to head east. We are taking a live look at Atlanta's airport, Hartsfield-Jackson. That is where we find our Tyler Finger, tracking the very latest with storms and travel delays. Tyler, what are you seeing and hearing there at the airport?
Well, Ariel, good morning to you. We are continuing to see long lines for the TSA checkpoint. Right behind me is the north checkpoint. And right now, we're looking at about 30 minutes to get through security. Obviously, a lot better than it was earlier, where we were looking at over an hour wait to get through. And you can see, obviously, as we pan the camera around, you'll see just how long this line is. as we continue to move here. There are multiple checkpoints here at Hartsfield-Jackson. Obviously, we have the main checkpoint, south checkpoint, and then 2 on the north side. Again, about 27 minutes right now to get through security. And obviously, this is a perfect storm from what happened yesterday. So from what the TSA is telling me, they were projecting somewhere about 100,000 people or so to come through the checkpoints today. Then they had the severe weather yesterday, which caused cancellations and delays. So now they're saying today could be the single busiest day ever here at Hartsfield-Jackson for going through the TSA. They're saying they're expecting about 110 or 111,000 people. Friday, they had their busiest day ever with 111,000 and about 111,000 people came through on Friday, if I could say that correctly. They're expecting today possibly to be even more than that. So far, according to the federal security director in charge of all Georgia TSA checkpoints, he tells me that they already had more than 40,000 people go through the checkpoints today here at Hartsfield-Jackson. Obviously, this is being compounded by the multiple things, as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, the flight delays and cancellations yesterday. You then had people coming today to try to get through security after their flights happened yesterday were called off or canceled, and then you had people traveling today. This is a spring break time period, the first weekday for most Atlanta schools to be off. So you just have a lot of people traveling today, and it's just unfortunately a big problem as people are trying to get through and try to get to where they're going. A number of people have already missed their flights today because earlier we were looking at wait times of over an hour, about 80 to 90 minutes at points. And for some people, they didn't plan enough time. Right now, the TSA and the airport recommending everyone get here at least 2 to 2.5 hours early so you can make sure you can make your flight. One woman I spoke with said that now she's not going to get on until 7 o'clock tonight after getting here at about 10 a.m. this morning. So lots of folks are unfortunately feeling the pain with the fact that they just aren't going to make their flights and then having to be rescheduled. The severe weather yesterday just wreaking havoc, and obviously we had the radar-confirmed tornado down in the southern part of our viewing area just south of the airport in Henry County. That obviously is causing the issues here, where there was also more people coming here because they wanted to get to the airport even earlier, just on the off chance that the weather was causing issues. I'm looking at a board right here where it says the main checkpoint is 34 minutes right now, north checkpoint 27, and the south checkpoint 30 minutes. So that's been the name of the game all day today for everyone who's trying to get through the airport, trying to get to their destination. They're just going to have to wait, and it's going to be unfortunately a problem that it's going to continue throughout the afternoon here at Hartsfield-Jackson. There once again are expecting at least 111,000 people to go through the TSA checkpoints today. Another possible record here at Hartsfield-Jackson, Ariel.
Wow, Tyler. I mean, my heart just goes out to the people who got up early, got to the airport early, tried to make sure they would have plenty of time with all this travel chaos, and then only to learn that their flight might be delayed until tonight or may not even be happening today, and they came to the airport for nothing. Have you, you told me you spoke with one person who was frustrated with the situation. Have you talked to others? Is anyone in a good mood? What's happening on that front?
I mean, for the most of the people we've talked to so far today, people are saying that, I mean, they were expecting a long crowd, long lines, busy day here. But for most people, they were just shocked to just see the lines when they got here. I mean, obviously, you come here on a Thanksgiving holiday or a Christmas holiday, you expect a boatload of people to be here. This is a Monday around spring break time period for our area here in Atlanta, and you just truly don't expect this number of people for, at least that's what a lot of people were telling us. Unfortunately, nowadays, you got to be aware that lots of people are traveling. They are increasing the number of flights out of Hartsfield-Jackson, both with Delta and the other carriers. So you're just having all of these people coming here at the same time. And the TSA again said that they weren't expecting today to be a record-breaking day. And then last night happened, and you had those flight delays and cancellations, and then those estimates, the projections went up about 15%. So they may have, they're not saying that there's any staffing issues today, but obviously you have to wonder if anyone was called in to be able to deal with the 15% of extra people expected to go through the airport today. So that's something that obviously we're asking, and we have not gotten an update at this point.
Well, the people waving in the back of your live shot definitely seem to be in a good mood. So there's that. I do have to ask you before I let you go. You were traveling yourself yesterday, and that's really when the severe weather started to pick up in our area. Were your flights delayed or disrupted at all?
Yeah, and that's a good question. I mentioned this when I checked in with you guys about 30 or so minutes ago. Yeah, when I was flying in yesterday from Florida after a wedding, my flight ended up being delayed about an hour. I had other people who were attending that wedding also had issues where their flight was canceled or delayed. The bride herself actually was flying up to Atlanta and then on to Europe. Her flight ended up getting canceled after a maintenance issue. She said that she was told by Virgin Atlantic that the flight was struck by lightning on its way into Hartsfield yesterday, and that resulted in her flight being canceled. She was able to get out, but obviously you can sense there was, on those international flights, you could have hundreds of people on board, 200, 300 people trying to get on a flight that then is canceled. They're then having to move those to other flights. I mean, flights like that, you just have lots of people, and then there was a number of flight cancellations. The woman I spoke to earlier said that she was supposed to fly to San Francisco. That's about 150, 200 people, depending on the type of plane that Delta was flying, who then had to be rescheduled for today. Again, all those people are getting added to the lines here at Hartsfield as they're trying to go through, just because their flight was canceled yesterday, and then they're trying to fly out today to get to where they're going.
Yeah. Tyler, thank you so much for giving us this update on travel. If you're headed out to Hartsfield-Jackson today, definitely give yourself some time. Tyler, I know you've got to go get ready for our noon shows right here on Fox Local and, of course, Fox 5 Atlanta, so we will see you there. For now, we're going to go ahead and bring it back here to our digital center. I think it's time to take a quick break. We are going to check in with our Eli Jordan one more time in just a little bit, but for now, we're going to take a break, and we'll see you back here in a couple minutes. Two, one. Well, welcome back. I'm Ariel Onstad, and we continue to track severe weather as it moves east, right now affecting the Masters tournament. In case you haven't heard, an evacuation is underway at the Masters Golf Tournament in Augusta. The horn blew just before 11:30 this morning, and patrons at the Masters were being told to evacuate the course. So we do want to keep you updated on that. For now, though, we do want to get out to our Eli Jordan for a very quick look as power crews continue to fix lines in Griffin. Eli, what are you seeing?
Hey, Ariel, yeah, I'm seeing power crews moving right along here. We just had 2 bucket trucks wrap up on 2 power poles here, get the lines run back up, and we got a few more down there catching up with them on that. You know, like I said, it's a process. They got a couple poles done now, and now they're moving on down, getting these other poles taken care of. And so they'll have this done, you know, probably within the next, you know, hour or two. So people here along Vaughn School Road, just northwest of Griffin, will be, if you're out of power, you should have it soon.
Awesome.
They're moving right along quickly here.
Thank you so much. Again, you're on Vaughn School Road, right off of Highway 92 there in Griffin. Thank you so much for giving us that live look. As you can see, crews are working on the situation. It has continued to improve since Eli has been out this morning. Our noon show is just about to begin here on Fox Local, Fox 5 Atlanta, so we're going to wait for that to begin. You should be seeing that momentarily. Thank you so much for streaming with us.
And the weather is likely a factor in dozens of canceled and delayed flights at the world's busiest airport just as spring break travel heats up. Alex?
Just in time for spring break, we're getting this morning's mess on out of here, hopefully for the